Hello, so how are you guys today? My name is Sapphire Hall, and we're getting started with the SAT reading passage, video, and prep. Um, and before we get into this, I really want to give a disclaimer that the SAT is designed to make you tired. That's why they start off with a reading passage that is 52 questions and 65 minutes, and they end with a long math section because it's designed to make you wear out very easily. So just be prepared for that and understand that. But I'm just gonna do this. Is gonna be try to make a quick video. Might have two parts on it, so just be ready for that. But we whenever we're doing a SAT reading passage, we need to be very active while reading so that you don't have to read multiple times and waste all your time because you're not comprehending what's going on in the passage. So let me find a good color here or a good size so you can see. And so you want to be an active reader, okay? Very active, knowing what's going on in the passage at all times. You want to take notes. So once again, being an active reader, okay? And then you want to be able to really understand what these questions are asking you. But you don't want to just look for the questions. So do not, I repeat, do not look at the questions first because you are setting yourself up for failure because you want to get this done instead of just reading the passage. Also, with graphs, if there's graphs, we're gonna do one with graphs. So if there's graphs the in the SAT passage, don't stress. All the information, all the information is there. Okay, and then lastly, don't worry about don't worry about your initial score. Okay, keep practicing. Keep practicing. Okay, um, keep working and don't stress. Also, as you practice, you should spend no more than 9 minutes on each passage, and that's somewhat of a stretch. But if you're spending more than 9 minutes on the passage whenever you're practicing, then you want to keep practicing and keep practicing until you reach an 8 minute mark, which is actually where you should be. 8 minutes is the ideal, but 9 minutes works. 10 minutes is a stretch, a very close stretch, so I don't recommend that. Anything above that, you're not going to get these passages done in a timely fashion, so just remember that. So today we're just gonna go through this reading passage and we're going to answer the questions. Very simple. I'm just going to show you how to be an active reader, what's important. So we have a couple strategies that we can do. We can do the read all at, all at once and then answer the questions. The question. Or you can split it up. Or you can split up the passage. Okay? And so I recommend to split the passage in half. Okay? Split it in half. In half, you should be taking notes. And when you split it in half, I chose this one particularly just how it was split in half already. I didn't have to make it too complicated. So when you split in half, you're going to read the first section because there's always going to be questions that pertain. Oh, this is backwards, but no, it's not. I'm lying to you. Okay, so there's always going to be questions that pertain to the first half. So this pertains to the first half, first half. Okay, and this goes into the second half. Okay, so just be prepared for that and understand that. So let's get reading. So, like I said, you're always going to be an active reader, and I'm going to see if I can take some notes here. Um, but I want you to be able to really see it. So, I will take notes a little bit. Let's see if we can. Let's see what we can do. All right, maybe we can't do that. But okay, I'm going to take notes in the header. I'm going to try to take notes in the header. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Something happened, but we're fixing it with the reverse button. Let's see if we can find our passage. Oh, it goes. There it goes. Excuse that. Okay. So hopefully you guys can read this. I'm going to read it from my book here and stay along as we go through. So, despite its name, the Global Positioning System is not about maps, it's about time. Each satellite is a constellation. 24 are needed, plus the US has several spares. Has multiple atomic clocks on board, synchronized with each other, and to coordinate Universal Time (UTC), the time standard used across the world, down to the nanosecond. So, what is the first thing that I just did that was bad? The first thing that I did that was bad is I did not pay attention to this right here. This is very important. This really is going to just give you a brief of what you're reading, so that whenever you get lost, you know that okay, so whenever you're reading a literature passage, this isn't literature, but whenever you are reading a narrative, I mean, you're whenever you read it, if you're reading something and it says, and you're thinking Jordan is the husband, when it clearly says in this passage in this part right here that Jordan is the son, then that means you're not reading correctly and something's happening. You're getting words twisted. So just beware of that. So always read this heading right here, and so you can get an idea of where we're at. So we're right here at the. So keep up, keep pace. The satellite continually broadcasts their time and positioning information down to the Earth, where GPS receivers and equipment from iPhones to automated tractor acquire signals and use the minuscule difference in their arrival time to determine an exact position. Okay, so we need to take notes on that. Okay, so we know that it's saying the satellite continues to broadcast their time. So it's telling you, it's just giving you a brief thing about time and the importance of GPS. I don't think there's anything super significant. Ready, right there. So minuscule difference. Okay, so we're at the while, at this beginning right here. While GPS was initially conceived to aid navigation, global synchronized times is now a much more critical function of the system. Telecom networks rely on GPS clocks to keep cell towers synchronized so calls can be passed between them. Many electrical power grids use the clock and equipment that fine-tune current flow and overload network. The finance sectors use GPS-derived timing systems to timestamp stop. GPS-derived timestamping systems. This is important, and I would take notes for you, but I want you to see the passage first, so we'll take notes afterwards. This is important, okay? You should look at this, highlight this, or look at this and mental note it, okay? So even if you wanted to try, I can leave the link for this PDF and you can print that out. Telecom networks rely on GPS clocks to keep cell towers synchronized. We saw that before. Right here, GPS clocks to keep cell towers synchronized. That's very significant as well, because it just proves what it's trying to say. It's just saying clocks keep cell towers synchronized and calls can be passed between them. That means that this is very important. It's an indication that this is important. Okay? That GPS is so essential. So let's keep going. All right, where are we? Okay, timestamp, ATM, credit cards, and high-speed market transaction. That means it's linked to everything. Okay, computer network synchronization, digital television and radio, Doppler radar, weather reporting, seismic monitoring, even multi-camera sequencing for film production. GPS clocks have a hand in all. Okay, hand in all. So this just shows that at the end of that paragraph right there at 25, that it's very important, very significant for us to have these GPS tools because they have a hand in all. What if all these flying clock radios were wiped out and everything on the ground started blinking 12? So I think it's very important that we really look into that question. What does that mean? Don't analyze things in here, but we see that there's nowhere else in this passage where we see a question mark. So this might be significant and they might ask about it. So keep going. According to Mike Lamberodi, okay, so it's good to always keep a note of who is in the passage. Who are the people that are in the passage with the facts? Just to keep a good note. A lot of times they try to ask questions about it, so keep a note. A meteorologist at the National Institute for Standard and Technology. We know he's there for credibility, so that's why he's there. Nobody knows exactly what would happen, so that's what he said. Since so many of these technologies were designed specifically with GPS in mind, the unsettling truth, he said, is that there's no backup. Here, there's no backup. So we know that that's significant. If there's no backup, that's an issue. An issue that is going to be talked about because it's significant. The bulk of more promising comprehensive backup systems already exist right here on the ground. After the sextant, but before GPS, navigators around the world use long-range aids to navigation, or LORAN. So we know that LORAN, right here, long-range aids to navigation, or LORAN, is significant, very significant, because they're introducing something new, maybe a potential solution for the fact that there's no backup for GPSs. A terrestrial system of transmitters and receiving equipment from developed during the World War II. By the mid-1990s, LORAN tower chains provided coverage for North America, Europe, and others. Okay, so we're going to stop right there, and I'm going to just write down some of the notes we took on, and it's going to be labeled first half. Okay, so we're going to stop there. For this first half, we know that there's no backup. There's no backup for the GPS. If something goes wrong with GPS, there's no backup. Why is this important? Because because everything relies on the GPS. Relies on the GPS. So that's why that's important, because if everything is centered around GPS and then there's no backup, what happens? We know that a possible backup is LORAN, and we're just going to keep that in our back pocket. We know we had a question, so why do we think they asked that question? Well, we can just keep that in our back pocket. We know to Okay, I think we know everything actually that we need to know for this first half to really dive in and be able to say what the answer is. Okay, so let us see. Okay, so with these vocab questions, let's go down. We hit a vocab question. We're going to skip 11. Okay, we haven't read the whole passage, and I think it's best to read the whole passage before we go on to 11, but we're doing it in parts right now. So let's just do things that pertain to this half of the passage. So as used in line 13. So we're going to go back to line 13. Okay, line 13 is right here. Arrival time to determine. Wait, is this line 13? Let's see. 13 conceived. Oh, I can see. Okay, this is line 13. While GPS was initially conceived to aid. Okay, so we can just think of in our head, what does conceive